Welcome back, Truth Seekers. Today's episode is one of those that will have you questioning everything you thought you knew about ancient myths and modern theology. What if the stories of ancient gods were not just myths, but fragments of hidden truths? What if these ancient tales of Titans and the Olympians were echoes of something much older, something hidden within biblical and extra-biblical text? Today, we're diving into a theory that turns history, mythology, and theology all on their heads. We're talking about the fall of Kronos, the rise of Zeus, and how these mirror the rebellion of the fallen angels. And, more importantly, what does this mean for us? In Greek mythology, Cronos, the Titan king, overthrows his father Uranus and takes dominion over the world. But he's paranoid. He's heard a prophecy that his own children will overthrow him. So, in desperation, he begins to swallow them whole. Imagine the dark, cavernous throne room of Cronos, where shadows flicker ominously against the walls, embodying fear and paranoia. His eyes, wild with desperation, scan the room searching for any sign of rebellion. The air is thick with tension, and every crack and every whisper seems to echo the haunting prophecy. But Rhea, Kronos' wife, in desperation to save one of her children, grabs Zeus, wraps him up in soft woolen blankets, and cradles him close. As her heart is pounding with fear and hope, she places him hidden in a cave on the island of Crete, where the gentle sound of trickling water soothes the baby's cries. Zeus, hidden away in a cave, waits as he grows strong. He becomes determined to fulfill his destiny. With a thunderous resolve, he returns to confront Kronos. The heavens themselves seem to tremble as Zeus forces Kronos to vomit up all of his siblings. Hesta, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon, each emerging from the depths of Kronos' stomach, their faces twisted in anguish and relief. The battlefield is a landscape of chaos, with divine beings clashing in a storm of fury and power. The sky is torn asunder by flashes of lightning, and the ground quakes with the forces of their blows. The Titans, mighty and ancient, stand resolute, their faces etched with the weight of eons. But the Olympians, fueled by their fierce determination, fight with fervor of a new age. The Olympians emerge victorious, and Zeus takes the throne, casting Kronos into imprisonment. Heavy chains clank as they bind Kronos, his once mighty form now a shadow of his former glory. The air is thick with the scent of victory, mingled with the lingering tension of what was once lost and won. Imagine the chaos, the clash of divine beings shattering the primordial powers. This was no mere bedtime story, but a tale of power and fear and destiny. The echoes of this narrative have resonated throughout cultures and ages. But what if they're more than just stories? Now, let's shift to another narrative, one found in scripture and ancient text. According to Genesis and the book of Enoch, Satan wasn't always the ruler of the fallen. He was a deceiver, yes, but his dominion came after he absorbed mankind's authority. In this theory, Satan, represented as Kronos, overthrows humanity's dominion over the earth, tricking them into rebellion. But in his paranoia, he misunderstood God's prophecy in Genesis 3:15. God tells him that the seed of a woman will crush his head. In response, Satan consumes his own children and those who follow him, metaphorically and literally, spiritually enslaving them to maintain his control. In the book of Enoch, it describes how these giants, born from the union of fallen angels and human women, began to consume all the provisions of man. And when humans could no longer sustain them, they turned against them and began devouring mankind. This grotesque imagery underscores the utter corruption and chaos brought onto us by these beings' rebellion. According to Dr. Michael Heiser, an expert in ancient Near Eastern studies, the parallels between the Watchers in the book of Enoch and the Titans in Greek mythology are striking. He suggests these stories may have common origins, reflecting a shared understanding of divine rebellion and its consequences. As I was researching this, I couldn't help but feel like a detective piecing together clues from ancient text. It's like a puzzle, and each piece that you find makes the picture more complex and intriguing. Who knew mythology could be this thrilling? Did you ever notice how these myths have an uncanny way of sticking with us? I mean, people still think that every thunderstorm is Thor just throwing a fit. Imagine they knew there might be a grain of truth to these old tales. Enter Semyaza, the leader of the Watchers, one of the chief angels who made a pact with 200 others to descend upon the earth. His motivation? Lust. In the book of Enoch, Semyaza and his followers take upon themselves human wives, corrupting creation even further. But this act shifts the balance of power. Like Zeus overthrowing Cronos, Semyaza challenges Satan's dominion. Not out of righteousness though, but out of desire, and when he falls, he brings others with him. Now here's where things get interesting. Zeus, despite being a so-called hero in Greek mythology, is just as immoral as his father Cronos. He's deceitful, lustful, and maintains power through force. In this theory, Semyaza, though not directly Satan, continues a cycle of rebellion. One fallen angel overthrows another, and the cycle continues. But who freed the other fallen? Who was missing from the original count? Could this explain the 7 regions of power among the fallen? At this point, I had to sit back and take a deep breath. You know when you're so far into a theory, it starts to make you question everything? Yeah, that was me. I thought I was crazy. I even had to rewatch some old episodes of ancient history, dig into my Bible, and watch some documentaries just to make sure I wasn't losing it. And speaking of losing it, have you ever tried explaining these theories to your friends? My buddy thought I was trying to pitch him a new sci-fi series. Honestly, maybe I should. As I researched this, I had to ask myself, why do these stories persist? Why do we see the same themes of overthrow, rebellion, and shifting powers across cultures? These recurring themes seem to echo a universal truth. Consider the book of Revelation, where a woman gives birth to a male child destined to rule all nations. A great dragon representing Satan stands ready to devour this child as soon as he is born. This imagery mirrors the myth of Rhea hiding Zeus to protect him from Cronos. Both narratives involve a divine child, a threat of consumption by a tyrannical figure, and a protective escape into the wilderness. And here's where I want you, true seekers, to reflect. If these ancient myths are distorted echoes of real supernatural history, what does that mean for us? How much of this world has been shaped by forces we don't even see? And most importantly, where do we stand in this great conflict? This is just the beginning of the discussion. There's so much more to uncover. Connections to other mythologies, potential counterparts in other cultures, and real-world implications of these spiritual battles. If you're enjoying these deep dives, I ask you to like, share, and follow. And if you want deeper dives, I ask you to follow us at the Truth Seekers Institute on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. You can also follow us at the Truth Seeker Chronicles on TikTok and Lemonade. And of course, wherever you get your podcast, we are the Truth Seekers. So stop by and support the research. Join our discussion and keep helping us unveil hidden layers of history and scripture. Until next time, stay curious, stay engaged, and as always, stay truthful.